Yeah.
For example, a lot of young bands, to save costs, they don't do. They will put out double CDs or whatever in not.
Oh, like the split releases.
Yeah, with other bands, so the costs are split. And also when they put things out, they put them out on in paper slipcases because they're a lot thinner to a package, and then they could go as like a letter. Yeah. So they save money on sending things out. So they're forced to come up with ways to cut corners and save money, and it's completely the opposite of the music industry in a lot of ways. Because I remember a friend of mine was a rep for a major label. I won't mention any record companies, but it was Universal.
Yeah, right.
But he was a rep for them, and he was telling me that he had a choice of different cars that they were going to get him, and they got him a Mustang.
Right.
This was years ago. It was an expensive car. They got him a Mustang, you know, fuel guzzler and all that kind of stuff. I would have thought it was impractical, but this guy, he's a lovely, lovely guy, and he loves aesthetically pleasing things. Yeah. And if I was good on him, but if I was in charge of that record company, I would have just gone, you know what, you're getting a fourth Siesta.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Fiesta, or whatever they call it. Yeah, well, I'm going to get you a cheap car because to get from here to there, all you need is a steering wheel and a boot for your free CDs. You've got a boot for your promo CDs and a steering wheel. Yeah. That's all you need. Yeah. So we're going to get you a really cheap car. I'm not going to get you a Mustang. Yeah. I'm not going to get you a Chevelle. You know, so, but he got it. So the music industry, I think they threw a lot of money against the wall because and people might like myself, we find that things like that decadent and a little bit gross. Because the money that they can get together by not wasting it on a lot of things like cardboard cutouts that they're going to put in JB Hi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. The money that they can save, they can actually give it to a whole bunch of really small up-and-coming young bands that are just out of high school or whatever and develop them.
And just spend an hour standing still in JB Hi-Fi.
That's right,
yeah.
I'll give you another example. A friend of mine who's long passed away, used to be the in-house engineer at Festival Records. Really good friend of mine. He's poor guy. He's dead now, but he told me some horrible stories about when bands used to be sent into festival studios to record their albums. The money that they used to throw against the wall. Things like they will put the band down at Darling Harbour in luxury hotels and go and get them one by one. They will pay somebody to go and get them one by one. So they're wasting petrol by getting them one by one instead of making them assemble at the foyer at a certain time. They couldn't do that because the band was just mentally, I'm a rock star. Yeah. So then they would get the bass player to try and play a bass run before a song, and he couldn't do it. He spent the whole day. Then they had to go and call a session guy to come in, and the guy nailed it in 2 seconds. And then they paid the producer to sit there and move the kick drum and the snare drum digitally and fix the whole thing up. And the studio's costing $2,000 a day. The guy could have done that in a hotel room on a laptop, but no, he had to do it in the studio because the studio's got good air conditioning, you see. Yeah. The studio had better air conditioning than his hotel, so I'll go do it in the hotel.
And a stock bar fridge and probably nice couches.
Right.
And,
and a ping pong table outside. Yeah,
and probably a few girls
That's
in there
right.
and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So, and I said, what are you trying to tell me? He said, oh, well, the record flopped. And I won't mention the band's name. The record flopped. It was their second album, and it flopped big time. No one bought it. The first one was huge. The second one, no one bought it, and it was been a massive, massive loss. Now, because I'm a economic dolt, I'm in a really weird situation. I'm Asian, but I'm not very good with money. So I'm one of these unique people, right? So I don't know how Now, someone's trying to tell me, look, there's this thing called a tax write-off, so they need to lose money here and now. I'm going, oh, look, I don't want to hear it. It just hurts my brain. I don't know how those things work.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's just so wasteful and pitiful that they would hire this band, the management and the record company would agree to let this band hire one person to tune their guitars for them in the studio. They pay this guy a salary so that he could sit there and play Tetris on his Game Boy until someone says, somebody needs to tune up the guitar. And he'd run in, tune the guitar for him, give it back to him, and get back to his Tetris. You're paying someone to do that. Why can't the guitar player do it?
Just do it themselves.
Because that's, well, yeah. So, in a lot of ways, there is a huge gap between do-it-yourself and the mainstream industry. And now it's gotten to a stage where the mainstream industry has just gone, look, we can learn from this.
Yeah.
You know, we could save a lot of money by making the guitar player tune his own guitar. Basically, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's where we're up to now.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. Bigsound does influence a lot of people. A lot of people are coming here to learn. It'd be interesting to see after the first music and design exactly how many people latch onto that mantra and see, maybe put it into practice. But it's definitely going to be an interesting day. I'm really excited about today. I think it's really going to influence a lot of people, and
I hope so.
And really make them think about what they're doing rather than just thinking about the money and the fame.
Have you heard about a band called Black Flag?
Yes.
It's a punk band.
Yeah.
In 1991, we played in Germany at a place called the Markthalle, and the support band was a band called Bulimia Band. The guitar player was Des Cadena from Black Flag. And Black Flag played there back in the mid 80s. The second half of the mid 80s, they played there, and they had a really good crowd as well. And the crowd was just all people with spiky hair and leather jackets and mohawks, and they were yelling at the band to hurry up and get off and get the band on, because the people that were in the crowd thought that Black Flag were roadies. So you had the guys in the band tuning up with beanies on their heads and just...
Get off the stage,
get off the stage, we want to see the band. They were the band. But you know what I mean? So mentally people weren't used to seeing people set up their own gear. Yeah. And years later, we got told that story by the guitar player from Black Flag, and I thought that was... Because that's what we did too, you know. And I remember our manager at the time saying, listen, you're going to have to... get roadies to tune up guitars for you. And we're like, well, how come? It's like, because it's not a good look. It's not a good look. It's not a good look to have somebody who's in the band forever fart-assing around, tuning up. There's no suspense, you know? You want to just walk on and go, well, here we are. And who's going to tune up the guitar for us? You know, roadies. You know, older guys with mullets, with keys dangling down, in Dunlop volleys, dishevelled guys, tuning up the guitars. I go, where are the dishevelled guys? I go, well, you're not going to... It's not a good look.
Yeah.
And at that point, what he was trying to say is that the do-it-yourself bands can learn from the mainstream bands. That's what he was trying to say, that there's something good to come from the mainstream as well. I personally disagree with it, and... Well, we agreed to go down that route for a while. So we had our friend Andrew, who was our roadie, and we didn't really need a roadie, but he was a friend and he needed a job, so we just gave him a job as a roadie. But his job was to just come on tour and hang out with us and help us. Yeah. You know, lug the free beer back to our hotel. That was his job.
That's great, yeah.
But we used to let him tune everything up, and we'd go on stage and play, and then... But what we would do is just go on there and recheck his tuning anyway. So it was a complete waste of time. So, do it yourself. You know, there's a lot to be said about that technique. It's not for everyone, but for a lot of bands, like my bands and the art that I do, I actually don't have any choice. You know, a lot of people don't have any choice, and I think the mainstream industry, they are finding that they don't have a choice because there's no budget there for them anymore. You know,
Yeah, no, there's not. It's been crumbling for the last 10 years. And, it's getting worse.
It's very small. Yeah.
All right, Ray. Well, thank you very much for your time, man. It's been
man.
an absolute pleasure. And
Likewise.
really enjoyed having a chat to you and looking forward to the panel. As I said to Paul, you know, it's going to be great to see everybody up there on stage and just all like minds having a chat. I think you're really going to make a lot of people go back to what they're doing and go, oh shit, maybe I am being a bit too decadent, or maybe there are things I can do. And I think it's great. So, and it's going to give other people out there that don't think they've got an opportunity to maybe give them a bit of confidence to keep going, because it is hard, man.
Yeah.
And it's good to see people like you getting out there and giving your time to people.
Man.
So, you know.
And sorry about earlier before.
No, mate, that's my fault. Hey, you got to catch up on the. At least they didn't charge you for the reading of the paper, though.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was up there. I thought you were downstairs. Like this, counting to 10.
Missed each other in the lift or something. Anyway, Ray on from Hardlands, thank you very much for joining us here
man.
for Bigsound 2013. Industry Insider here from Lions Rooftop Hotel.